for our next match, getting back to the action here at Toro Cup 31. Coming back onto the Toro Cup mats at 2-0, representing Battleborn, BJJ, and MMA, Mr. David Pearson. And his opponent, undefeated at Toro Cup as well, and representing Kamicuozzi MMA, Mr. Drew the Screw Pais.
So we're jumping back to match 10. Both of these gentlemen undefeated.
Yeah, Drew Pais, described by many who have been in there with him as a weird grappler. And in the match with Sam Stone at the last Toro Cup, I know you weren't here for it, but that was definitely what was on display. Drew's a great MMA fighter, just like his brother, but not a lot in the way of traditional grappling training. But they are extremely creative, especially Drew. I think Drew's a very creative grappler. And so I see him do some things that are not very standard, including defensively a little unorthodox sometimes, to say the least. And now he's sitting back on the Aoki with no other kind of control. More of his brother's game, frankly.
He has a lot of confidence in his defense, which is showing in how he's moving.
They never stop moving, neither one of them.
Yeah.
I can imagine what it's like to be with them and like on the mat with them, and I imagine they're just so hard to pin and hold down.
He's giving up arm bars, giving up guillotines, and is just slipping right through them.
Yeah, and he's forced to play the bottom position with David Pearson now, which will be very interesting because in his MMA fights, I've only ever seen him play a top heavy position and positional attack. Never really seen him be in a position where he has to sweep or has to get a shrimp or anything that I would call a fundamental jiu-jitsu technique off.
Yeah, very much is going for anything he can get his hands on. He's looking for an opportunity to shoot his legs up, I can tell.
Pearson's doing a good job of just kind of trying to just slow Drew down, just trying to pin him, hold him, and slow him down for a little bit.
Trying to work up into that top lock.
Eight minutes on the clock. Finally, the pace starts to go down after that first minute was very frenetic back and forth pace.
Pearson kind of reaching up for the head.
Yeah, almost like a can opener, right?
Well, almost giving up a crunch arm is what I was seeing.
Yeah.
Good look. If he pulls the arm out, go triangle. Heist up.
Nice. Great control by Pearson. Way to cover that hip up because I actually thought Drew was going to wrestle up there. I thought he was going to get out, but Pearson just covered up. Now he's sitting on that top heavy side half guard. Trying to go to mount, ends up on the back on the screw. Drew's trying to turn, but the fundamental jiu-jitsu just too strong right now for Pearson with the underhooks, body triangle now locked in, and Drew not showing a lot of urgency to deal with that either.
Yeah, I'm happy to see Pearson staying very fundamental, simple, and just kind of waiting out the flailing of David.
Of Drew.
Drew.
Yeah, Drew, like we were talking about with Will earlier, when Will went against Camden Berge, your student, we were talking about Will. Sometimes he seems squirmy, but his squirms are expertly timed as defenses. And I feel like Drew is a bit squirmy as well, but here he's been forced to play really outside of his box for sure. And he's
great job spinning into that body triangle.
And he's just taking that pain. David Pearson now has to give up that position and go. And wow, Granby rolls straight into the side. That was weird.
Doesn't care.
That was strange.
You ever see the old school video of Henzo yelling at his brother or cousin for doing
from the edge of the mat? Mm-hmm.
Yep. that was that roll right there.
BS move, yeah. Take that BS move and get out of here. Drew going to get the shield back in front. And, in the match with Sam had a lot of offense against Drew as well until it got kind of to the points in the later rounds, and then Drew started to just like be fresher later because he's
Yeah.
a athletic dude for sure. But Pearson's bigger and stronger, it looks like,
Yeah.
and he hasn't necessarily used a ton of energy to hold Drew so far in this fight.
I mean, Drew has had no problem defensively. Now it's just a matter of, okay, let's take that confidence and what are we going to actually solidify?
Yeah, I think that, like, especially at the blue and purple level in matches like this where the submission is so, needed for the win, but also a bonus is waiting for you there, you see a lot of, like, catching or a lot of scrambling into positions where you can catch something quick. But jiu-jitsu is about isolation. It's about making the target larger and larger and larger until you're guaranteed to hit it. And there's been, like you said, not a lot of shots that have landed on Drew, but he's not done anything to make his targets bigger. He can
And
only catch
points
something.
are live. Pearson just catches the shoulder roll
Like
and
I said,
almost lands him out.
creativity, like he's kind of doing the things you teach people not to do.
That guillotine is tight. Look,
Yeah.
chin connected to the back of the head. He's on his side.
That's nice by Pearson.
And that's a tap.
Nice guillotine by David
Beautiful
Pearson. He cinched
guillotine.
that up quick. And look at the chin. Look at the posture when you see the
Beautiful.
replay of that. Just watch his body position. That's how you finish a
That
guillotine.
was textbook finishing mechanics.
Ladies and gentlemen, your winner via guillotine,